alive, I'm getting high with my 4-5. Cops on these suckers trying to die, even as a youngster. Causing ruckus on the back of the bus. I was a fool all through high school, kicking up dust, but now I'm labeled as a troublemaker. Who can you blame? Smoking weed up, we take away the pain. So I'm hopeless, rolling down the freeway, swerving. Don't worry, I'm about to crash upon the curb, cause my business bloody, baby. If they try to understand me, what should I do? I had to feed my fucking family. What else could I do? Or be a thug? I'm slanging with the homies, fuck hanging with them phonies in the club. Got my mind on danger, never been a stranger to homicide. My city's full of gangbangers and drive-bys. Why do we die at an early age? He was so young, but still a victim of the 12 gauge. I'm memories of a corpse, mind full of sick thoughts, and I ain't going back to court. So fuck what you thought. I'm drinking Hennessy, running from my enemies. When I live a beat 23, there's so much pain.
Both hours, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare, we're trying to provide housing for Black Americans. The impact on the choice, the idea that they're gonna, I'm proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one I've not raised the cost of Social Security for anybody. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it stopped. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
Wow. Good evening. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope everyone had a good week. It's the weekend. Everyone, please like, follow, and share. I appreciate it. Welcome in. Who is all here? Hey, Heather. Hey, Janine. Hey. How are you? Did you make it? Hey, Jen. Good to see you, Grandma. You'll have to let us know why the cops surrounded your home. That's very interesting. Hey, Papa. Did you make it? You didn't send me a message, did you? I didn't see one. Yeah, whole family is in here. Nico's in the house. Whoop, the roof is on fire. Y'all remember that song? Oh my goodness. It has been a crazy week. How about that debate last night? That was it was funny, but at the same time, I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned in many ways for our country, but I'm also concerned that we have someone there that has no idea who he is, and he is just flat out being abused. That's a straight up abuse. Joe Biden, you should be arrested. You should be arrested. Everyone, we have our guest tonight. Let's welcome in Gravel. Hey, Gravel, welcome in. How are you tonight?
Hey, country, how you doing? Let me give you compliments first, right off the top. So I got about to be 16-year-old and another 14-year-old. They're both boys. And, they're like, Dad, who is that pretty woman? And they're like, is she your girlfriend? I'm like, we're social media friends, and I'm a guest on her show. But they actually, they were sitting over my shoulder while they were watching your opening. So I pay you compliments.
You tell them I said thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That's very kind. Very kind. We may have a couple other guests coming on in at some point, but a lot of times, for some reason, when I send the link through through StreamYard, it's not working. So I have to turn around and copy paste it and send it that way. So I don't know. If they pop in, they pop in. I'm not sure.
Can I ask you a question about that? So if you send me the link, is that tied to like what I see on the top? It says episode 37, 85. Do you have to send a new link every time?
Yes.
Or okay, so it's the link that's specific to that daily live.
Next to that, yes.
Okay. I was just curious about that. So one link doesn't work for all your live.
No, every day that I reset and have to set each individual one up, that link, when I send it out, goes to that particular episode or live that's going to take place. So that's how that works. So that's why I have to send out one every single time. I'm learning this stuff myself. I'm working on learning the green screen. I hadn't really even had time to do that. Hopefully this weekend I can dive into that. But yeah, it's I have mixed emotions with this because well, let's see. Let me see if I can find it. I had this one, yeah, that I thought I had in here, but maybe I lost it. Well, let's watch this one.
Hi, Janine. Hi, panel. I got you. I got y'all's comments up. And country, don't take that the wrong way. My sons were complimenting you.
No, thank you. I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm never going to say turn down the compliment.
I'm single. They have a mom, all that, but they're like, "Who's that pretty lady, Dad?"
Listen, it's so sweet. It is. It's so sweet. Isn't it crazy? You know, when we were younger, we'd see our parents or something, if they were single or whatever, and we'd say that and we'd be like, "Oh my God," or something. And now we're those people. Now their kids and grandkids do. We're like, "Oh my God." I never thought our world would be like this though. Or I would see it, which I'm kind of glad I'm seeing it and experience it now, because now I'm using my voice, others use their voice, and maybe we can make a difference, stop some stuff, you know. Maybe that's what we're trying to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, hey, Christy. She says hello. Love you too. I sent Sean an invite too, but I don't know if he is.
Hi, Christy, and hi everybody in the comments. I see the comments.
Yeah, they come through pretty quickly. They really do. Let me see if I can pull this one. I had a couple of videos and I just don't know where the one I was wanting to show. I have a habit of deleting what I need. I'll think, okay, I got a duplicate and I don't, but it's loading. It's loading at the moment. Well, let's watch this one. I haven't got to see a lot of these videos. You guys may have already seen them, but I haven't got to see them. So I hurry up and I download them and stuff, and then we'll talk about it tonight. So this is kind of the first time I'm seeing a lot of this stuff.
Thing about the debate that threw him into this state that he was in, because watch this. While Donald Trump was probably enjoying a celebratory platter of cheeseburgers, President Biden made an appearance at a watch party a little while after the debate, and he scarcely resembled the guy from earlier in the evening. This is really unbelievable. Watch.
Look, folks, what's going to happen over the next couple of days is they're going to be out there fact checking all the things he said. I can't think of one thing he said that was true. No, I'm not being facetious. But look, we're going to beat this guy. We need to beat this guy. And I need you in order to beat him. You're the people I'm running for.
So suddenly, no colds. Suddenly he was 63. You know? Yeah. What happened?
Oh, Joey.
Holy cow. I had not seen that clip. So actually the view
they got in a big old argument.
So what I took from that clip, country, was that the view was like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? That's how I heard it. I hadn't seen that clip yet.
That's the way I heard it as well. She's questioning it. The lies are catching up with them. Absolutely, Gian. Absolutely. what the fuck has Yeah, I mean, she's questioning it now. I mean, guys, did the universe flip or something overnight? Did something just kind of flip? I think maybe they had to see side by side. They had to see the truth because, up in the last couple of weeks, between the G7 summit and uh, Obama and him on stage at that fundraiser and other things, everybody they pushed it out, hey, this is just fake news. This is deep fake. This is just not real. People are editing and putting these videos together. Well, kind of convenient how this came about not
It's
long after all that.
you know what that whole thing, that whole debacle last night, which wasn't Trump, it was Biden, and I think Trump did pretty. I actually think Trump did pretty good. I did see a stat. They said 73%
Right.
of what Biden said was not true.
Mhm.
17%, like 1/7. Well, I got to look into it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Of what Trump said wasn't true, but when I was watching it last night, when Biden said no military soldiers have been lost under my watch, I swear I was about to throw my beer at my TV.
I bet you was. I
You
bet
know,
you was.
when
It was
he
as a
said
matter
that, I was like, "Are you?" I mean, do you know what planet you're living on?
It's matter too.
Hey,
Snuck
Smatter.
up on me.
Hey, Smatter, how you
Go
doing?
ahead.
Can you
Go
hear
finish,
me?
Gravel.
Am
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Okay.
You're good.
Go ahead.
You're fine. Go ahead, Gravel.
No. That's it. That's it. I mean, we can tear this debate apart and everything that was said. I want to give your new other guest, like I'm a guest, a chance to talk as well. We're just kind of
Matter
BSing
too.
this matter.
Oh, trust
Welcome
me.
in.
Trust me. I can run my mouth like the pros. Yeah, so I was actually doing something and I got the invitation, came in here to see what. So, what was the conversation? I literally just got here.
Literally,
Talking
we
about
were
the
just
debate.
talking about yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Well, here, I'll show a video and then we'll talk about it.
I saw in him then the same character that I see in him today. And even though he has faced unimaginable tragedies, his optimism is undaunted. His strength is unshakable. His hope is undeterred. I saw.
Wow. I am just, it's at a point where I'm getting pissed off. I'm getting pissed off, and I never thought I'd say that about Joseph Biden. Never in a million years. She is, they, they should be, they should be arrested.
I'm
They
actually
should be
getting to the
arrested.
point. I'm getting to the point. I actually feel bad for the man.
I do too.
I mean,
I
my
got the-
dad is around that age, and I feel bad for the man. You
So
know?
I got the feeling that Trump felt bad for him during the debates. I think that's part of the reason why he backed off just a little bit.
Yeah.
And he made several references there to his condition, and I saw him pulling punches. I thought so as well. But in that little video clip you just showed, I mean, he looked like a
Yeah.
90-year-old version of Beavis, like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
He looked lifeless. He was so drugged up.
You could tell that. You could definitely tell he was on
Pitiful.
It is. And I mean, I believe the one that talks and's got it together, that's a fake Biden. That's what I believe. And this one, they're night and day. They're night and day. You look at them, be a robot. Could be one of them. Could be one of them plastic things they got on. Hell, I don't know anymore. Reality is just all messed up. But I do see before me, when I see those videos, I do see an elderly man who is being mentally, physically, and emotionally. That's what I see for their agenda, and they're pushing it. And the even more scarier thing, if we just go forget about Biden at this point, we know, that's been out here researching, doing all this stuff, we kind of got this idea of who is running our damn country. But for those who just woke up, many have woke up last night. Many have woken up last night. Who has been running our country for 3.5 years? Think about that. And that's what I've got a lot of people messaging me and asking me those questions.
Country, can I say something about that if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. So on TikTok, over on the TikTok side, you know, you got the RTP talks, Priscilla Gonzalez, you know, Adam Cray. There, I actually went into their lives today, and their lives were already kind of like dark and gloomy, like the world's going to come to an end. But today, it was like it was bad, and I didn't join as a guest or as a panelist because most of the time they kick me out anyways. But they had to have. I was trying to phrase some comments for your show, and I was trying to think through like how am I going to say this? It's almost like, I mean, we're all. I'm assuming we're all parents here. Like you have a kid, you got to give them a pacifier. They're you know, they were like, rather than having like one person one of their, you know, friends or whatever you want to call them, they had to have like 6 people up. Like they are freaking out about
They
this.
are.
I mean, because they know it's over. It's over. Biden is done. And to your point, country, is that what happened last night? People no longer heard the mainstream media, the cliff notes, the headlines. They actually saw President Biden, and he is the president, so I'll call him the president. I don't think they actually saw what we've been seeing, especially in the last year. And you know, like even the left leaning mainstream media is like, we got a serious problem here. I'll yield back. Thank you.
It's saddening. It really is. It's very sad that it's being done that way. But we'll get back on this subject. Who's running our country? Well, we've known about this video, but there are people that are just now waking up and seeing this video because someone sent it to me, a Democrat sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, that's been out for a good minute. And they're like, I didn't know about this.
Ask me, knowing what you know now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, that's been circulating for a while.
Yeah, and they were like, "Did you see this?" I'm like, "I've seen it quite a few times," which of course that interview is quite longer. But you know, Joe Biden was in his basement when the election was going on, and
Yeah, I've seen that video too, and there's actually another video of Obama. This was when he was in office still, and he said something to the effect of, and it was, I want to say it was right around the time that Trump announced 2016 timeframe, or I guess 2015 timeframe. It was right around the time that he announced that he was going to run his run for the office, where a reporter had asked him, what do you think about Trump? And Obama said, it was a weird answer. He said, well, if Trump runs, then so be it. But as long, and this was the key part that I stuck to, he said, as long as a Democrat gets in. That's all he said. It was odd.
Oh,
I see. Yeah, I see the link.
You know what I mean?
Sense.
You guys,
That makes
are you guys
sense.
tracking
It
on
was
that?
already a prearranged deal. It didn't matter who was in. It was as long as it was a Democrat, they were good to
They
go
had
because they had the little basement channel thing going on.
Yep.
Wow. It's so crazy, after years pass, you kind of, when someone says something like that, it kind of clicks and you're like, why didn't I see it then? Why didn't I, you put two and two together then? But at least you put it together. But now someone sent me that one. I was like, yeah, I've seen that one. Let's see. I think they're going for Newsom and Whitmer to be the candidate after the convention.
I see Newsom.
Thanks.
I don't see
Think so?
Whitmer being able to be on a ticket anywhere, but I do see the Newsom, at least the effort.
Yeah. It's this is crazy. Well, I wanted to get a viewpoint of just an American citizen, and I come across this video, and this is what got me thinking.
I don't know if you guys have thought about this or not, but after watching the debate last night, it's pretty obvious Joe Biden is not running the country, which means somebody else who we didn't vote for is running the country, which means that's a coup. They took over this country without firing a shot. Somebody that we, the people, did not choose is running this country. And that ought to scare the crap out of you. And if it doesn't, there's really something wrong with you.
Agreed.
Yep. He's on the money. He is on the money.
I agree with that. And I've had that
mean-
question for a while. Like when Obama was in office, and that was when I was in the service. I mean, they were a little like kind of reach into the military. They reached in a little too far in my mind. But we knew Obama was running the country. Same thing with Trump. But I'm like, I have the same question. I'm like, it's not so much about looking at Biden, like in these debates or this debate that happened and then the falling down and all that. But I'm like, this is getting really weird, really fast. I'll turn it over to Smatter. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, thanks for your service. I'm also I'm an Army veteran.
Oh, well, thank you for your
Thank you.
service. I did 20 years in the Air Force. I was a pilot.
I was 8 years in the the Army, and I was active during the Gulf War. So I didn't get to see Obama as my commander in chief, luckily. Yeah. And I'll tell you, man, a lot of my thoughts, my political leanings, and just generally the way I live my life has changed considerably since when I went into the military, which this was in '89, and then or '90, and then when I got out in '98. So yeah, everything is changed considerably. I'm very disappointed in my own choices. They were uneducated choices. I didn't know what I know now. So I get that, but I'm still disappointed in myself that I didn't see more. But honestly, I feel like the debate last night was a tipping point. And when I say the tipping point, I mean the tipping point of people actually waking up and seeing what is going on.
Yes.
And there's a whole lot of people, and this is people that I've met in real life that are like they're in freak out mode. They're like where I was 5 or 6 years ago when I started seeing, going down rabbit holes and seeing, oh, well, hold on. And I mean, ultimately, and of course, this is my opinion only, but your right and your left are two dirty sides of the same fucking coin. And this is ultimately, I think that's why Trump did so well, was because he wasn't a coin in that pouch. He come out from the side. It didn't matter who he supported. He supported, in his career as a businessman, he supported Democrats and Republicans, but it was certain things. He operated in the business era. So when he came into the political arena, suddenly everybody hated him because he was there to expose them. And that's ultimately why I think he worked the first time, and he was able to break the algorithm. And ultimately, I think that's probably why he's going to win this one. I have good feelings about it. I really feel like that there was a turning point now that the people, even there was no fucking way that there was 81 million people that voted for Joe Biden. But there were some people that actually did. And
yeah,
I think a lot of those saw the debate last night and went, uh-oh. What's the meme of what's the guy's name? And he's like, man, we fucked up.
Yeah, that's Bradley Cooper.
That was the reaction, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's Bradley Cooper from The Hangover. Like, hey,
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, we fucked up with the wedding, like, hey, man, and all that, But dude, I agree with you. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. I knew it was bad. Brother. But when I saw what I saw last night, I was sitting there thinking to myself, and as a veteran yourself, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, holy shit, this guy has the nuclear codes. I mean,
yeah,
I'm like, we are in some freaking trouble here.
Well, whoever controls him has the nuclear codes,
and that's even worse.
Yeah, that's even
because we didn't vote for that dumbass.
Right.
I mean, it was, I've never. I'm a Trump guy. I think
Alex.
The rest of this panel,
right?
But I didn't. I mean, I've seen the gaffes, I've seen the falls, but that debate last night, I was like, oh my gosh, because you got to realize Kim Jong-un, Putin, Xi Jinping, they were all watching it, and I'm like, so when we look at it from an adversarial perspective, they all saw it. And I'm sitting here in my little town in Arizona, and I'm like, uh-oh, we're screwed. And then I started thinking, I'm like, these world leaders are looking at this, and they're like, I don't know, in my mind, I was like, they're like, we got 5 months, or roughly 5 months.
Right.
Because
counting down.
Yeah. That. Anyways, I'll land my plane on that one.
No, Gravel. Continue.
Yeah, no, I just think they're looking at it like we got 5 months to make a move, because Trump's going to get back in, and that's it. That's why this election season is going to be very, very difficult. But what I saw last night, and whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, Trump supporter or not, I've never seen Romney like that. I've never seen Obama like that. I've never seen I didn't even see Gore like that. I was like, holy sh! I didn't see Bush like that. I'm like, who is this person who's running our country? To country's point, like, who's actually in charge here?
Yeah.
So, Gravel, could I ask you, so when Trump ran the first time, and he was going around doing the circuits or whatever, and do you remember when he got interviewed and they were talking about John McCain? And he said something, and I won't tell you my reaction, because I want to know yours. But I don't know how long you've been political, if you've been political all along or just recently. But when I heard them talk about, you remember the comments that Trump made about McCain, talking about, they said something like, hey, McCain's a hero or whatever. And I actually watched and saw the whole video in context of Trump saying, McCain's not a hero. I prefer my heroes not get caught. He got caught. Did you hear him?
Yes. I hear this a lot, but go ahead, sir.
What was your gut feeling when you heard that?
So when I was in the service, we actually, because I had to go to SEER, and we actually heard some stories about McCain. Now they're just stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to, if you are captured, you're supposed to abide by the code of conduct. This is I don't mind talking about it, but it's very sensitive for me because I was never captured or anything like that. But the code of conduct, there's a couple stories, and I'll just call them stories about McCain that are out there, that what he did while as a POW. And I don't know, like, preferably, I wish Trump would have kept his mouth shut on that. Because I know what he was trying to get at, and this is my opinion only, because there are stories about McCain, how he behaved while he was a POW. His father was an admiral, so on and so forth. But I don't want to judge another vet because I've never been in that kind of a situation. I think Trump should have kept his mouth shut, but I understand. I mean, Trump's got a mouth on him. I think we can all acknowledge that, right? And
I concur.
The reason I think Trump said that, and not to take it back to the political issue, was Trump was trying to pass his own healthcare reform and override the Affordable Care Act from Obama, and McCain voted against it, and Trump lashed out. That's my theory. That's my theory on that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and again, it wasn't a right or wrong. I was not even a gotcha. I was just curious because finding out that you're a veteran, I wanted to know your opinion too, and your take on that when you heard that. So, I have kind of similar, maybe for different reasons, reactions. My first initial reaction, it was very knee jerk. And looking back on it, I'm like, yeah, you should have calmed down and paid a little closer attention to the variables that were in play at the time. But when I first heard them come out of his mouth, I was like, oh shit, you're the weakest link. Bye-bye. I'll vote for, Mickey Mouse. I wasn't going to vote for Hillary. I damn sure ain't going to vote for this motherfucker who just threw one. Now, and even then, I was not a fan of John McCain. John McCain's got his own issues politically, but like you said, from the standpoint of a veteran, whoa, wait a minute. He was a POW. You were not in his shoes. Don't go judging this man. But later on down the road, and then looking at it logically. Now, one thing you have to understand too, that as patriotic as Trump may be, he is not a United States military veteran. He doesn't understand that. He's going to look at it differently. Everything to him in business is there's politics in business, and then there's politics. So there is a separation there. But I do think that I don't think he meant it in the way I took it. But I've been very, very I watched him like a hawk ever since, because I held my nose when I voted for him in 2016. I voted for Trump in 2016 mainly because I wanted to have nothing to do with Hillary. And he was the lesser of the evils, the whole traditional, paradox that we all face come election season, the lesser of the evils. It wasn't until 3 or 4 months though that I started realizing, whoa, this fucker is he's doing some of the stuff he said he was going to do. And yeah, he's rough around the edges, but I mean, look, especially if you're from the military, you're used to rough around the edges. That really doesn't bother us much, right? But watching him morph into the politician that we, elected, that was pretty exciting for me. And it took me about 6 months to get on board. And, look, still a lot of people have a really big problem with his brazenness and his big mouth. And why can't you just get the fuck off Twitter? Why can't you just quit, shut up, whatever. And I was on that board on train with everybody else for a while until I realized what he was doing. This man does not move one muscle without it being planned out. He knows what he's doing. And every time he was doing that, he was controlling the media. He literally, he told the media what they were going to report, when they were going to report on it, and how long they were going to report on it with the left hand. And then the right hand, he was over here getting business done.
Agreed.
Once I saw that, sometimes people still don't understand that. And once you mix politics into business and you get this, you understand what he was doing, made perfect sense. I was like, okay, go ahead, be an asshole.
Yeah,
be an asshole if you want to. Rock on.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, country. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing. I mean, we need a strong president. When they went back down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he plays like the McCain thing. There is a whole story behind that.
Absolutely. You went a lot deeper than I expected you to go with that, and that's perfectly fine because some people did. Before I even went through my little evolution on how I dealt with that, I did not know about the stories behind McCain. So my service time was, I think, a lot earlier than yours, but I did not have access to that information. So now that I have, yes, that changes some of the things, but it still doesn't change the way I ultimately ended up feeling about the situation.
Yeah, exactly, Smatter. And for me, it's kind of a tightrope because, you and I are veterans, and it's a tightrope, because I was never captured, I was never a POW, so I did go through SEER, but and SEER is actually not fun. I'll just say it like that. But not the quote unquote getting captured part where you get the crap beat out of you. That's not fun. So I can't.
Those of you who are watching it, SEER, basically, if you ever saw the movie G.I. Jane, that's kind of similar. That's the idea. It's like extreme boot camp with physical.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. Yeah. That's what SEER stands
for.
Yeah. So it's a whole program.
Thank you.
Now, not everybody in the military has to go through it. So I was the Air Force. All pilots have to go through it, or anyone. It's actually not just pilots. Anybody who's air crew has to go through that course, and it's almost 3 weeks. I mean, and that's after, like in my case, like I earned my pilot wings, and then I had to go to SEER. I thought pilot training was tough, which it was, but SEER, that school was tough, And what Smatter was saying was, kind of like G.I. Jane kind of a thing. So I try not to judge, but McCain, and that's where I was talking about the code of conduct, and country, this is for you and your guests up here. We actually have a code of conduct if you're ever captured. And ultimately the question was, did McCain violate the code of conduct? And like I said, I won't get into it. But yeah, I mean, that's he was still a veteran, and he was captured. He was a prisoner of war.
Well, basically, if you're a POW, you're permitted, you're only allowed to give your name, rank, and serial number.
That's
or
correct.
Your social security number. Anything outside of that, you violated it.
That's correct.
So,
however, if you've not been in that position and you've not been under the situation of being tortured and all that or whatever, don't judge. I'm just telling you what the rules were. That was the rules. The rules are name, rank, social security number. That's it.
So basically, what happened? Here's the 101 on it. He was being tortured, and this is why this gets very touchy with me. He was actually being tortured.
Oh yeah,
And,
dude, his shoulders, his arms are fucked up.
Yeah, and
Wow.
what ended up happening? What ended up happening because he was being tortured, like physically tortured? He gave out some locations, times, stuff like that. Now, why Trump brought that up? I mean, Trump never said that, but this is the anomaly with Trump. Trump knows McCain's story. So here is where, like, when it comes to Trump, where I'm like, man, you probably shouldn't have said that. Yes, you that is
Okay, but y'all putting feelings over facts. At the end of the day, McCain betrayed our country. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay, yeah, but again, if you're being hung up in a sling, and you're sitting in a POW,
that's easy to say when you're sitting on the other side of a keyboard. Oh yeah, all you got to do is only say this one thing. You got to you don't have a knife at your throat.
Exactly, and that's why I try not to render judgment on McCain.
I get it.
Actually render more judgment on Trump for bringing it up. And it's like, okay, if you knew the actual story, President Trump, maybe you shouldn't have said that. But Trump, in Donald Trump's way, if he knows something,
he
you piss him off, he's probably going to say something, It's just Donald Trump,
Right.
He just like with his tweets or his Truth Socials, actually. He's like, that's what cracks me up about Truth Socials, because he's like, well, okay, if you're going to ban me from everything, I'll just start my own platform.
And he did. Well, let's watch this one clip. I found this. I actually got a strike and got reported for hate speech for posting this video today.
Here?
No, TikTok.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Who won the debate? We asked debate watchers in our instant poll. And the answer is a resounding Donald Trump did. 67% of debate watchers in our poll say Donald Trump won the debate tonight. Joe Biden, 33% say he won the debate tonight. I mean, guys, at this point, I don't give a shit if they bring out Gavin Newsom or maybe Hillary Clinton or even Big Mike. Even Michelle Obama. Sorry, I don't know why I said Big Mike. Back to you, Jake. Who won the debate? We asked.
You want to hear it again, Smatter Tooth?
I do want to hear that. Oh my god, that was so fucking hilarious.
It was so worth it.
Did he really say? Did he really say?
He did. Yes. I got a strike and got violated for this.
Who won the debate? We asked debate watchers in our instant poll. And the answer is a resounding Donald Trump did. 67% of debate watchers in our poll say Donald Trump won the debate tonight. Joe Biden, 33% say he won the debate tonight. I mean, guys, at this point, I don't give a shit if they bring out Gavin Newsom or maybe Hillary Clinton or even Big Mike. Even Michelle Obama. Sorry, I don't know why I said Big Mike. Back to you, Jake. Who won the debate? We asked.
Ooh, I know why you said Big Mike.
Oh
my god, that is fucking
you know what? I made a video about, like, I think I was telling you guys earlier, I made a video about this. The Democrats and the TikTok people, the RTP talks, the Parker, whatnot, those guys, they need to stop. This is getting very serious. They have to find a replacement. After last night, Biden is done. He's done. It's over.
Politico.
He may not be removed from office, but I don't think he's going to run again.
But
No,
who's going to run our country from this moment on?
Politico's report on the debate, and I mean they're at best, I mean a left-leaning actual political organization. Their headlines were Biden is toast.
Everybody.
And they're right.
CNN is saying
right.
it. CNN is saying it. And actually, I give credit. I'll actually give credit to CNN last night. Tapper and Bash or Bush or Dana Bash. The questions, I thought it was gonna. I didn't think it would go so well, but I actually thought the questions were pretty fair. Honestly,
I think they were fair. I think they could have gone a little more in depth, but I mean, considering I've learned to accept these debates, and it's really up to the candidates, I think, to take those little nuggets if they catch a nugget and run with it. And I think Trump did an awesome job with that, basically just picking up on something and then using the next segment to address that. And then throw in a little bit. Oh yeah, by the way, the answer to your question is no.
Well, you guys saw the clip. You guys saw the clip where, gosh, what was the? I can't remember what the question was. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
What was the punchline? I'll tell you the question.
Yeah, well, Trump. Actually, this happened a few times. And it was. I was texting with my neighbors and my dad because we were all watching the debate. Trump looked over at him like this. And he's like...
That's when he said he got his handicapped while he was in president or something as a 6, which that's golfing.
Yeah. But Trump looked over at him a few times, and you could tell Trump wanted to talk.
He wanted to talk. He did numerous times.
Kept looking over at him, and I don't know what he was thinking, but I think what he was thinking was that he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?
You stupid motherfucker!"
Yeah,
Oh my
now,
God.
obviously, the mic drop of the evening, was just get a glance over. I don't know what the hell he just said, and I don't think he does either. But here, look.
That's the comment I was referring to. Yeah, that was.
That was like the beginning.
That was definitely the mic
right
drop.
At the beginning.
That was definitely the mic drop. But man, I watched, and again, this was like originally it was like, oh my God, this is the same shit over and again. But then, like, I started actually developing a little bit of empathy for Biden being in this situation, because how many times? Look, all he had to do was stay alert and alive and coherent for 90 fucking minutes. And at least 5 times he would start rambling through this he already had this shit memorized. I did this, and I was in Saudi Arabia, and what anyway.
Right. Well, listen to the
same kind of
analysts.
Rumbling bullshit.
They talk about that, what you're talking about, Snyder Chair.
Preparation at Camp David.
Yeah.
Country, real quick. I'm listening. I'm just going to mute my camera. I got to get my kids settled with dinner.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, but I'm listening. So I'm just going to mute my camera.
You're fine. Do what you got to do.
Preparation at Camp David.
More than that.
And they know the rules.
It was more than a week.
Okay, so more than a week. They know the rules. He practices with the mics. He knows every one of these questions is coming. And yet he couldn't fill the time. Now, I just want to, let's see what the White House is saying. Sources close to the White House are saying he had a cold, wasn't feeling well. I mean, as you would expect, that came out early on in the debate. But what accounts for someone with so much experience doing so much preparation and this being the outcome?
Honestly, I think the question answers itself. He wasn't capable of doing any better than he did.
He goes through 6 days of
They're even
talking
about it. They're like,
answering it himself.
I mean,
but yeah,
are they finally seeing what we've been saying? Or are they just?
I think so many people at this point are watching what happened and going, we fucked up.
Well, here, Steve Bannon had something to say. This is about what's going on with Garland.
Okay.
What they're going to do with Garland.
I am grateful beyond words for the honor you have bestowed upon me. Okay, hang on. We have breaking news. Anna Paulina Luna has just tweeted, Garland needs to answer for his blatant disrespect for Congress and the rule of law. This inherent contempt has the full backing of the Speaker of the House. Let me repeat this. Anna Paulina Luna just tweeted out, Garland needs to answer for his blatant disrespect for Congress and the rule of law. This inherent contempt has the full backing of the Speaker of the House. That means that with the passage of this, it could come this afternoon or maybe early next week, that the Attorney General of the United States could be arrested.
This is the greatest honor of my life, other than Lynn agreeing to marry me.
By the Sergeant at Arms and the Capitol Hill Police. Stunning development.
Fuck that motherfucker. Lock him
It's
up.
coming. It's coming. Now with Steve Bannon, he's got to turn his stuff in on July 1st.
Right.
Monday. I just read an article that was saying that the Supreme Court wasn't going to overturn his conviction and that he was still going to have to do 4 months, and they're going to put him in general pop and all the criminals. They're going to put him right there in the middle of all of them. So apparently with what had happened with the Supreme Court today, it will not affect him as far as what I have heard, that it's not going to affect him. But what happened at the Supreme Court today? 2 major things happened today at the Supreme Court. Here's one.
That one of alert and some more breaking news, this time about the January 6th rioters. The Supreme Court has just ruled. Let's get to Shannon Bream. What did they say?
So what they have said is that one of the statutes the Justice Department used to charge hundreds of different January 6 defendants is no good. And that includes President Donald Trump, because he has actually had 2 of these counts against him in the Jack Smith D.C. case against him, that federal criminal case that has been on hold here. So what essentially they say is this statute, which was passed in the wake of Enron, they say it doesn't fit here. He says, given that the subsection was enacted to address the Enron disaster, not some other far-flung set of dangers like what happened just right over here at the Capitol, it is unlikely that Congress responded with such an unfocused and grossly incommensurate patch in English that essentially means that all of these people who were charged under this particular obstruction statute for January 6th, that is no good. The dissent, this is a very interesting vote makeup, because the dissent is actually written by Justice Barrett, and she is joined by Justices Sotomayor and Kagan. She says that Congress did intend for this kind of conduct to be brought under this particular obstruction charge. She thinks the majority got it wrong. But what it means is a big headache for the DOJ and good news for hundreds of January 6 defendants charged under this statute, again, including.
Well, that was the first ruling that was turned over with the Supreme Court, or stated with the Supreme Court. The second one was the Chevron. I had a video of a guy who was explaining it much better than I could. Here we go.
Allows the whole Chevron deference doctrine, which goes back to the mid-'80s, and is the linchpin of the administrative state, because it not only allows Congress to punt to agencies to decide questions of law, stripping them away from the courts, and the courts are the ones who are supposed to decide all questions of law. It even allows those delegations to happen when Congress says nothing, when it's silent. They wanted to create this 4th branch of government with a group of experts who would lord it over and rule over the American people on the theory that they had expertise that ordinary people didn't have. And the Supreme Court wiped that away today, 6-3. The
Smarty loves his guns.
Welcome to my world.
So yeah, that was the other one. And doesn't that, like, all 3-letter agencies prevents them?
So it limits, from what I understand, it limits the ATF from going after companies that support. It's kind of like a 3rd level type elimination. It's a step in the right direction. It's definitely it's not a win across the board. And any companies that have been, like, let's say the ATF decides that hey, we're going to reward a certain company for pushing against another company because of 2A type content, or because they promote it. Well, that it eliminates that. But any damage that's already been done, that still has to be undone. So there's a little bit of work that still has to be done, going backwards. But I mean, it's definitely a win for the 2A community and for ultimately anybody who honors and loves our Constitution.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, I keep forgetting we're here on Rumble and we can play with all our toys.
It sits right next to me. My AR is actually just about 2 feet over.
You guys ought to check out Sweater G. He's been doing some really neat videos on here. He really has. He's got his little show he does, and then he shows all of his guns, and he's prepared. He's prepared.
Hey, you got to
okay,
keep
Grandma. I hope you feel better, Grandma.
You got to keep them right next to you. I mean, I'm up here, Smatter, if you didn't know this, I'm up here in northern Arizona. The response time, we don't have city police. We have county sheriffs and we have Arizona state troopers. Their response time is at least 45 minutes, at least, and I mean, I can conceal, and the town that I normally shop in, everybody carries, whether it's open or conceal, everybody carries. So we don't really have a problem here. But yeah, I mean, if somebody can find me, which they probably won't, but if they did, I got to take care of it on my own. So like 2A stuff, that's why I'm a big 2A-er,
I'm in South Georgia, and let me tell you, it's a whole lot easier getting into my house than it is getting out.
Right. Exactly.
At least in the same condition that you arrived.
Well, yeah, and the way it works here is that if that was to happen, like
Arizona has castle law, don't they?
Yeah, we do. We have stand your ground, castle law.
Stand your ground, castle law. Yeah.
Castle doctrine. What's interesting though is that if that was to happen, it'd be very hard to get to me in the first place. But bye, Heather. Oh, you found me, Heather.
There's a comedian, and I love it on social media. I wish I had thought about it first, but a comedian he's like, you know what? With all this talk about 2A and your ability to protect yourself, blah blah blah, and he goes, nowadays, man, he goes, somebody breaks into your house, he goes, once they break in, the door shuts and you hear the doors lock after they got in, and then you're like, Alexa, play Intruder, introduction or whatever, and you hear Danny, it's like Creedence Clearwater Revival.
You know what's matter? So I actually I talked to a sheriff and I actually had them come out, and because my property line is all fenced, right? And he said, and he came out and he looked at it and he said, hey man, as long as you have, this is the county and state, but basically the county, because I do want to be legal about it. And because the legal immigrant issue, that's why I was curious about it. Because they tried to pin up that 82-year-old rancher who's in the South, or southern part of Arizona. Mm-hmm. So I had a sheriff actually come out here, and he kind of looked around the property and he said, hey man, the only rule we have here is that if you're fenced you have to keep your no trespassing signs within 300 feet of each other. And if somebody steps foot on your property and they're coming at you on your property, you can do what you will. It's kind of like the old standard thing. If they go off your property, if you scare them off, you can't chase them down the street and shoot them in the back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Look, why would you? And look, the people that are anti-gun and anti-2A2 are under this conception that, the people that are pro-gun, we're just looking to shoot somebody. No, it's not that at all. And look, having prior military experience too, trust me, the worst thing you ever want on your conscience is taking another life. That's not the goal. That's not the goal. However, you need to understand, though, I will put myself back in that position to defend myself, my family, my property.
Absolutely.
And I won't even blink doing it. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to that guy. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm a civilian. Okay. I don't have that. That's not my instant response. But you can bring him out. You can bring him out if you show up unwanted and against against my will. No, it won't happen.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I wanted to get the legal check, if you will.
Mm-hmm. It's good that you got any kind of relationship with your personal sheriff. So.
They were deputies. They were deputies. It wasn't the actual sheriff, but I called the sheriff's office and I said, look, I want to understand this because everybody recognizes that Arizona has a major immigration problem. Not so much up here in the north. It's mostly in the south, where the border is. And so so I wanted to make sure, hey, am I being legal? And it was one of the deputies. They came out. They were actually really cool. I did not have. I had a no trespassing sign on one of my gates. But what he told me, which I probably could have looked up on my own, I was just too lazy to do. He said, as long as your no trespassing signs are, and it's like minutia or whatever, because I didn't know it. He said, as long as your no trespassing signs are no more than 300 feet apart and somebody comes on your property, we can't do anything. And they're charging you or rushing you or whatever. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. And but the fact that you contacted the sheriff's department, that's awesome. What you definitely want to do, and especially if your response time is based on how quick the sheriff can get there, rather if you don't have a city police, that sort of thing, man, shake hands with your sheriff. Go up there and meet him once, at least have just have a face to face. Know who he is. Let him see your face. I'm in a smaller town. I'm really lucky. I mean, our sheriff here, Mr. Barry Babbs in Fayette County, just south of Atlanta, Georgia. He went to school with my dad. So I know, my family knows his family type thing or whatever. And I've literally sat down and broke bread with him and we had a conversation. And he basically, he told me too, that if it comes down to it, if there's any kind of laws that trickle down through here restricting the Second Amendment rights, he'll deputize every willing, able, and a man in the county as a deputy, so that we can Second Amendment rights. And let me tell you something, that's strong words, but you have to understand, you're dealing with your sheriff and your sheriff's department, your sheriff specifically. This gentleman has been, or woman, you can, elect a woman. This person has been elected and swears an oath to the same Constitution that you and I swore an oath to. And they are the most powerful representative in the United States, considering the area that they have over. Literally, they can stop the federal government at the county line and tell them to go pound sand. That's how much power they have.
Yeah, they have more power than
Yeah, you know what's interesting? You know what's interesting? I mean, and I think this gets lost. I mean, we don't have a city PD. We, like I said, we have sheriffs and we have state troopers. That's all we have. We don't have a city PD where I'm at, or a local PD. So all we have is sheriffs here. But you know what's interesting about that is that I was talking to a lady on. It was on a TikTok live the other night, and she lived in, it was either Michigan or Minnesota, something like that. And she was, and I believe her, don't get me wrong, but she was telling me, she's like, because she was a gun owner, she's like, so like, I'll get into the stand your ground and castle doctrine, whatever you want to call it. She was telling me that her state law or county law or whatever it was, it requires her to be basically locked in her bedroom before she can retaliate. I'll use that word. And I was like, are you kidding me? And she said, no, I'm serious, Gravel. She's like, I have to be. I'm like, so what you're telling me is someone can enter your house on your private property or your apartment or whatever. Somebody can come in your house and you have to basically be, she called it, it's called like a retreat law or something like that. And I was like, wow, that is insane.
I think it varies state to state.
It does.
You can have modification on the castle law. And I know, like in the state of Georgia, as long as you don't shoot them in the back. If they're trying to leave, you got to let them leave. If they're on their way in, and you know, and you didn't authorize their entry, you're good. As long as the bullet wound is in the front, you're good to go.
Yeah, it was fascinating to me, and I don't know. I mean, I think that
ultimately, this is, you know, these little tweaks on the law and those little intricacies, shit like that. Oh yeah, we got castle law, but you got to lock yourself in the closet in the furthest part of the bedroom, and you know that's got to be your last. Okay, that's a result of us as a people electing these fucking idiots into office that are making these little stupid fucking rules.
Yeah.
And little by little by little by little, our kids are being indoctrinated to think, you know, government is the solution. They're the big daddy. They're the ones that are going to take care of you. They're the ones that are going to protect. Oh no, they're not going to protect you.
No, they don't give a shit about you.
No. Know how to grow your own shit, grow your own food, know how to get water if you need to get water, know how to defend what you have. I don't care if society is in full effect and everything is fine. You still need to know that shit. If shit ever does hit the fan, the people who think that fucking ground beef comes from Kroger, they're the ones that are going to be sucking wind.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you know, oh, go ahead, country. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, if we lose the internet, we have a major electrical outage. 48, I give it 48 to 72 hours, and chaos will ensue.
That's when the chaos will take place because they will
pandemonium.
Yep. Yeah. Like, wait a minute. I mean, I've seen this one comical thing, and they said that the only time your family meets together is when the internet goes out.
True.
It was like a video. It was like all the kids come running in there, and and the internet's out. That's the only time they eat together, sit together. I mean, I remember always eating together, you know, and doing things together as a family. We didn't have phones. We went outside to the creek. We went outside. We figured things out of how to have fun. We didn't have, if I didn't have toys or something like that, We figured out what we needed to do. We used the stuff outside. Climb a tree. I don't see kids climbing trees anymore. That was fun to me. Especially when my grandmother would tell me go get a switch, and I'd bring her one back. It was little, and she'd say go get another one, so I'd climb the tree to get away from her, and I'd be sitting at the top of the tree, and I'd look down, and she'd be running around looking for me, and then I'd giggle, and she'd know where I was.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's kind of smatter. Yeah, I think you're probably Gen X, right?
Yeah, I'm 53 years old.
Okay, yeah, I'm 70. I'm a 76er, 48. I love this comment from Deborah. I was looking at her comment. It said, "Yes, if you shoot someone, you better drag them in the house." That was a funny. I love that comment.
A lot of people say that here.
If that ever happened to me on my property, I probably like the next day, I would probably be like, "Hey, there's a bunch of like dead guys on my property," and they'd be like, "How do you know they're dead?" I'd be like, "Well, I went up to them. What happened to them? I don't know. Maybe they got bit by a snake or something. I don't know." You know.
I want to show you guys a video while everything's going on right now with the debate.
Hell yeah.
I come across this video, and when I watch it's a 4-minute video. But I was like, okay, we know that America, the US has given the authority to use these weapons in Ukraine on Russia, and they are using them. But this also is going on. And I remember last year with a bunch of chemicals going missing, all the chemicals we've been wondering where they're at and stuff. I am getting an idea that this is a very good possibility, and it would make a lot of sense. Bear with me. I'm trying to get this stuff going.
No, you're good.
There we go.
Ukraine is turning into a landfill of radioactive waste, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. It says Kiev is receiving a range of chemical substances from abroad that can be used to create so-called dirty bombs.
According to the available operational information, the import of radiochemical substances into the territory of Ukraine for further disposal continues. These substances turn the country into a landfill of spent nuclear fuel and waste from hazardous chemical industries. The main supply routes are organized through Poland and Romania, while organizational, logistical and financial issues are personally supervised by the head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, Andrei Yermak. These substances can be used to create a so-called dirty bomb with its subsequent use under a false flag.
Ukraine's creation of dirty bombs and their potential use for provocations has been a concern to Moscow since 2022. Russian experts underlined that Kiev has had access to materials from its nuclear power plants, such as the inactive Chernobyl plant, as well as from radioactive waste disposal sites used by chemical and nuclear industry enterprises. Ukraine has long denied having this type of radioactive weapon or any intention to create or acquire it. But Moscow's fears have now been echoed by a former British MP, citing defence sources.
I've got defence analysts feeding me information, and they're in, services, and they're saying that there is going to be a nuclear detonation in Europe.
Who by?
Well, it could be a dirty bomb. I mean, there's a lot of nuclear material floating around in Ukraine from their nuclear reactors. I mean, to create contamination, all you need is some conventional explosives and some nuclear material, and you've got a dirty bomb. They may have already been set off in the Donbass area now.
And that could be the false flag that starts the war.
Yeah. There's many ways it can be done.
Like 9/11.
Like 9/11.
Well, we spoke to former member of the UN Biological Weapons Commission and military expert Igor Nikulin, and he says Ukraine can't be preparing a dirty bomb independently.
I think it may be difficult to create such a weapon on your own, but with the help of Western specialists, it is quite realistic because they have everything for this. Nuclear waste in large quantities, as well as missiles, even if they are all outdated like Tochka-U. The only question here is whether Western sponsors will allow such a shot to be fired, but it seems that they are already allowing everything. The dirty bomb is just as dangerous as a nuclear explosion, even of low power. At least, this is a long-term infection of a large area, and Ukrainians have already had incidents with their missiles flying to the territories of Moldova, Romania, Transnistria. so they can use this as precedent to say, well, it just happened. Also, I do not trust any international institutions because if the IAEA Commission has not been able to find out within 2 years from which side the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant is being shelled, what can we talk about? Everyone knows the answer except for the IAEA inspectors. The same happened with the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons when it made a conclusion even without entering the territory of Syria remotely. By the way, this was one of the reasons to launch a special military operation, because Ukraine was preparing a strike on the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics, and another strike on Russian territory via dirty bomb. And not only dirty bomb, they had a lot of things prepared. Immediately after the start of the special military operation, thousands of liters of various substances, the most dangerous diseases, were destroyed, so to say. We were ahead of them. The actual stocks of biological weapons in Ukraine were comparable to those that the US had at the time of signing the Biological and Toxin Weapons Convention. It is clear that they were talking about thousands of liters of various concentrates that they were ready to use. Therefore, any delay would be equal to death.
Ukraine is
So we got chemicals and everything going on over there.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, country. I didn't mean to interrupt.
They want to kickstart a war. That's what's got me concerned now with this situation with Biden.
Yeah, not only I'm familiar with the dirty bomb. I'm not a bomb guy. I mean, I drop bombs, but here's the other thing about Ukraine. I'll say, I don't trust anything that's going on over there. We don't know where the money's going. We don't know who it's going to, but I'll give you a anecdotal, right? So, I told you I was an Air Force pilot. We dropped bombs. The fact that we sent, they're called CBUs, cluster bomb units, which we are actually not. We can have them, but by the law of armed conflict and all other kinds of rules.
Does it have white phosphorus in it?
Well, yeah, so it's basically one big bomb and it's got all these little clusters. And so you drop it and then basically 100 feet above or 200 feet above, it basically releases, and it's how to take out an enemy position, like a bunch of troops or like tanks and whatnot. The fact that we sent CBUs over there, and that was about, I want to say a year ago. I was like,
truthfully, we don't know what we've sent over there. They put it in paper, but there's not been any oversight at all.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing with the dirty bomb stuff, that wouldn't surprise me. That whole thing, that whole mess that's going on over there. And I don't know, Smatter, if you're going to agree with me or not, but that whole thing is just a big freaking mess, and nobody knows what's going on. And
that's what I'm saying.
If we miscalculate, we could end up in a huge war.
No, and yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. And so the thing with the dirty bomb is it's nothing intricate at all. Basically, it's just 2 ounces of C4 explosive and some nuclear material, literally nuclear waste. You can use nuclear waste to have a dirty bomb, and it can be something in a briefcase. It can be in a suitcase, and you can have that set off. Now, it's nothing like a nuclear bomb, but it'll damn sure fuck up who's around it. So you don't want to be anywhere around one of those going off. And I'm not a bomb guy either, but we had some of the basic trainings in explosives and nuclear type material. So it doesn't have to be dropped out of an airplane. It literally can be, shipped overseas the explosive part be met up with something somewhere else, and literally, I mean, can be put together. It's almost like one of the anarchist cookbook type things. You can slap this thing together in your kitchen, with some basic chemicals, and all you need is that one specific little ingredient to make it a nuclear dirty bomb. But yeah, there's no accountability over there right now.
No, you're right. You're right. And it would be like these weren't dirty bombs; they were just bombs. But the pressure cookers in the Boston Marathon bombing,
Right, that's what I was
they had
thinking.
one more ingredient. I mean, that
It would've
already
been.
was bad. But if they had one more ingredient in there, you got a dirty bomb.
Yep.
That makes sense
Well,
to you guys?
Yep.
Yeah, it does. Take a look at this video. They're trying to say it's aliens and stuff, but my first thought was, and this is Canada. We don't really know what's going on other, areas of the world, really, because they put out information. They want out every now and then something, So do you remember when 2020? I guess it went into 2021. I think it was within the first year and a half. There were actual videos that were from China, and it was propaganda, but they were trying to say that Americans were starving and they wanted them to donate to help America. There was these videos. I don't know if you guys saw them or not, but they were going around. They were saying we were at war. This was around the time all the ships were backed up in port. But those videos were coming out. But this guy thinks this is aliens, but I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It was brighter. It's two bright lights way above the tree line on the south shore. Towards, I guess that must be, is that Towers Bay? Look, there's another one there. Look at, what the is that? Yo, I think we're seeing some aliens. For real. I'm trying to zoom in here. Those other two just showed up. I'm walking towards it.
And that wasn't made up. You saw the reflection. That was really it. And then above it, I mean, he thinks it's aliens. I don't know what it is. Some were saying, well, like, it's two suns. It's two suns.
Looks like helicopters to me, but
and then they
what
come
am
up
I?
to
it's hard to say. I mean, Smatter, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, sir.
No, you didn't.
Okay. It's hard to say. I will tell you this though. Country and Smatter, and to the panel in the comments, there was one time, and I was in Afghanistan. We were in a 2-ship, right? So there's 2 of us, and I was, so like if you look at aircraft, like you got lead, and then you got 2. We call them 1 and 2. So we kind of fly like this, but we can fly and trail. Here's what happened to me, and this was 2008. And our radars are constantly going, so on and so forth. But we're on what they call, I'll call it a route that nobody else should be on. So I get a radio call from 2, who's about 2,000 feet behind me, and he goes, contact 3 miles, 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I look down at my radar, and sure enough, there's something there. So then I look up, because I was looking down at the radar at that time. I look up, and there's just this thing there, right? We didn't even know what the hell it was, because it wasn't supposed to be there. So we were going from point A to point B. I'll say it like that, right? And it wasn't supposed to be there because everything was supposed to be what they call deconflicted. Like there should not be something coming the other way or on our route. And we're looking at it, and I told two, I'm like, hey, swing left, go take a look, but keep me in sight. And he went there, so he comes like under me, and he kind of points that way, right? I know it sounds really weird, but I'm like, do you have it on your radar? And he's like, two, because that's what you say. And then the thing, whatever the hell it was, goes straight up in the air. And we're like, what? What the hell was that? It's funny because this actually happens with a lot of military pilots or even commercial airline pilots. Or or like that video you just showed, Country. It happens kind of like out in the middle of nowhere, like in the sea or in Afghanistan or, whatever. We never figured out what it was, but we recorded it. So I had to submit because we're obligated to report like, hey, something was where it shouldn't be. And it's all taped, because we got tapes yet. And I never really heard back from it, but I'm like, I told my boss at the time, we got back, we pulled the tape. I said, hey, and he looked at it and it went up the chain, and I never heard anything from it again. I didn't mean to.
Oh, you're fine. I
Sorry.
just come across that video and I was just curious about it. You never know. I don't know. Who knows what it is, what things are. I don't know.
The movement I saw in the video looked like helicopters.
Okay. Because then there were two more above. So
Yeah,
reflecting.
and definitely, I agree with Smatter. On that. The story I told you, that was like probably about. I want to say we were around 25,000 feet. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the video was literally at definitely under a 10,000 foot ceiling. And easily, helicopters could be operating there and then just turn the lights on and look like it appears. But it doesn't appear, it was always there, just the lights came on. And from having night vision too, you remember using night vision, that's a wild experience. So I did some of the aircraft refuel for our birds for the 11th ACR. And we had these little Siloom light sticks, and we all thought they were broken because you break them up and say, you're supposed to glow in the dark. Well, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. You got to have night vision goggles on to see them, though. But you see these birds flying in with only infrared, and you couldn't see them unless you had night vision goggles on. That's what that video reminded me of. The way the lights are yellow, that looked like somebody was looking through them through a night vision. That's just my observation.
Well, Patriotic agrees with you. She's like, that's it. I don't know. Have you seen this video of Newsom? Since he might be popping in that spot, for president.
Hey, country. I wasn't trying to go sea theory on you. I was just trying to relay it.
No, Grandma. I love hearing stuff like that. No,
I don't know.
That's why I was asking,
what
do you guys think it might be? Is it an alien? And is it helicopters? Is it, I don't know, anything.
I thought the story was definitely interesting. I love hearing about shit like that.
No, I do too. I used to watch paranormal.
I wish I had more interaction or experience with actual stuff like that.
Not me. I'm scared now. I
don't doubt that it's real. I haven't had the experience. So
I'm going to run. I'm going to get under the cover like the cover's going to protect me.
I got God on my
No,
side.
no.
I got God on my side. I ain't worried.
Well, I do too, but I'm still human in the flesh and I get scared.
I get it. I get it.
Okay, here's Newsom. I think he really wanted to talk about the debate, but it didn't go as planned.
Here, Governor, why did you shut the beaches in California during COVID?
Yeah, I think we all were working on information at the time. We had no basis of deeply understanding the virus. I think they
So
did
you
the same
didn't know
thing. I know they
anything,
did the
so
same
why'd you
thing in
shut the beaches?
States like Florida.
If you didn't know anything, why'd you shut the beaches?
Well, we didn't know. Yeah, because people were concerned early in the pandemic. Information was coming out as it relates to how it was transferred, the disease, and people were cautious, trying to keep people alive. And I should say this,
So
Adam,
you didn't
should
let
know
them
this
go
on
in the
health, wealth, and
sunshine and get
education.
vitamin
California
D
outperformed.
and exercise, so you shut the beaches. Okay. And you arrested a guy who was paddleboarding in the bay.
On health, wealth, and
yeah, any
it's always
science
good to
behind
see
that?
Adam, and,
Any science
we're
at
all
all behind
geniuses in
shutting outdoor
hindsight.
dining? Why'd you
We're all
shut down outdoor dining?
Go ahead, Governor.
Science?
It's good to see Adam.
Based
And
on
so
science,
look,
you
at the
didn't
end
have?
of the day, the debate tonight.
It's not a debate. You shut
I'm
down
looking
outdoor
forward to the
dining.
debate,
You canceled
compare and
businesses.
contrast
Had
tonight.
nothing to do with science.
All right, let him finish.
People, all right, go ahead.
All this happened in the.
He won't talk about the debate. Dude, I like that too.
That was awesome.
Yeah, Adam is great. I made a TikTok video on that video.
Did you?
Yeah.
I got another strike on another account for that one.
Yeah,
yeah.
And my title was, or whatever, what I put in print was like, I said, Democrats, here's your replacement.
Oh, I'm gonna pull a video then. You said that.
Okay, go ahead.
I have to pull it up in my phone and send it to my email though. I found it earlier and I thought, I don't know if I want to hear it or not. Maybe they will. I think you'll enjoy it. I gotta dig it up. I don't think I put it on my Telegram, but I know I got it because yeah, there it is. Here, I'll put it on my Telegram. We'll just play it on Telegram so I don't have to size it or anything. It'd be a lot quicker. I love Telegram, man. You can just pop stuff on there real quick and you're good to go. Once they upload. It's almost uploaded. But yeah, there's a it's crazy today. Massey's wife passed away and there's no cause of death.
Who?
He's one of the congressmen. Here, I'll play this video.
Speaker, we were all saddened to learn today of the passing of the spouse of one of our members, Thomas Massey, the gentleman from Kentucky. His wife, Rhonda, of many years, they were childhood sweethearts. She suddenly passed away yesterday. Mr. Massey had to drive home to Kentucky and be home with his family, which is where he is today. I would ask everybody in the chamber and everybody around the complex to please rise and observe a moment of silence and offer your prayers and thoughts and condolences for our good friend from Kentucky.
There's no cause of death. I mean, well, not yet. They don't know what happened to her. It was very sudden. There's fireworks going off if y'all hearing fireworks. No, I'm not out shooting nobody.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Not yet. It's still
I'm not
it's
still young.
No, not yet. Oh man, I just got rid of the one I wanted. Let's see if I can
Don't do
find it.
that.
Not that one. It was another one I was going to play. I play a lot of these videos. But, you know, a lot of people like the visualization of the videos. That's one reason why I do it. They really do.
Verified. She passed away today. I didn't know that.
Yeah, just it's not really giving the information. And it's so sad, though. On Twitter or X, he put pictures of them, high school sweethearts throughout the years. And he was so sad. He said, my My sweetheart is gone, and it tore him up pretty good.
And I believe I'm looking at the story right now. I believe she was the mother of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mother of 4 children. Yesterday,
Yep.
quote, yesterday, my high school sweetheart, this is from Massey himself, the love of my life for over 35 years, the loving mother of 4 children, the smartest, kindest woman I ever knew, my beautiful wife, queen forever, Rhonda went to heaven, Massey wrote on X.
Mm-hmm. All right, it's uploaded. Okay, let me get it.
About this debate, obviously it was cadaver Joe Biden versus pig Donald Trump. You all saw it. I am concerned. Pig Donald Trump came out looking like nothing, like he's hopped up on Diet Cokes and quarter pounders with cheese. Cadaver Joe Biden, I thought he was going to be on that Lance Armstrong. I thought they were going to have him juiced up. I thought he was going to look like Sugar Ray Leonard in his prime, moving and grooving. He looked like he was comfortably numb. He looked like, especially in the beginning, he didn't know what the or where the he was. Dr. Jill Biden at the end ran into the ring like Adrian at the end of Rocky, like checking on him. I tell you one thing, a lot of people right now currently are talking about Biden dropping out and replacing him with Gavin with the good hair Newsom. Gavin with the good hair Newsom. I lived in California. I still pay taxes in California. You ran that place into the ground. San Francisco, you and Kamala Harris, you turned one of the most beautiful cities in the world into a total dawn of the dead. I'm not with Gavin with the good hair or Kamala, okay? If Gavin with the good hair or Kamala replace him, I'm openly, proudly pick Donald Trump 2024. I have a lot to say about this debacle. I mean, debate.
Rappaport cracks me up. 2 years ago, he was like, I hate that mother effer Trump and blah, blah, blah. And Trump will kill you and, do. And now all of a sudden, he's like,
now he's like,
the way I see it, country, the fact that guy saw the light, I'm like, shit. Get on the Trump.
You know what made him see the light is the COVID shots. He was all for it, pushing it out there. You need to get it. You need to get it. And then he found out. He goes, you fucking telling me? You don't even know what the hell is in it? You telling me? And he was just going off on the video. And that's when he woke up. And at one point, he was actually for Trump. Something happened, and he was actually for. He says, fuck you, Democrats. I'm done. And he was the one who was saying, cheat, Democrats, cheat. You're going to see a lot more Democrats now being on social media, going in these lives with things going on. They're pretty scared. They're pretty tore up, and you're going to see them lash out and report because they have nothing else to do. They have no other means of anything. They know it's done. It's done.
It's over. It's over. I mean, Biden's time is done. And I agree with you. I mean, and especially after last night, because one person might get their information from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Maybe they watch the news, mainstream media. It's over. I mean, it's over.
I bet Harry, Harry on TikTok, I bet he's crying tonight.
Well, actually, I did a video on that one too. So before the debate started, Harry said Republicans are panicking because the president is going to speak tonight. I stitched it right, and then I went in with what I had to say. I said, no, we weren't panicking at all. We just wanted to hear Biden talk. We knew he was going to do it to himself.
And I think Trump knew that. Honestly, he was very reserved. He refrained. There were moments there. He started to dive in, then he pulled back. But there were moments, I know he wanted to say something, but you know, there were times though I think he really did feel sorry for him though. Like you said, Smatter too. I do think he felt sorry for him and had empathy for him.
I don't know. I don't understand how anybody can even take the hairy dude seriously. I mean, there's videos out
Comical
there
now.
now exposing him, basically showing, hey, yeah, no, I don't really think
PNC.
that way. I'm just waiting on my paycheck. They're
Mhm.
paying him to do that. And
But then he'll come out and say, I don't get paid to do nothing. And we've got proof. We've showed the proof.
Yep.
I've showed the proof. Others have showed the proof. He's photographed. He's part of that agency.
Yeah.
How much
He's on a payroll. He's on a payroll.
Yeah, it's all a scheme. I mean, to be honest, I mean, Harry's like 21, 22 years old. You know, he's making some money off this.
Oh yeah, they showed him more money, at age 21 than he's ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's like making his head spin. Oh yeah, he'll say anything they want him to.
He will. He will. He will. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's like kind of the rest of them. A paid talker, basically. And
propagandist. He's there
paid
to
propaganda.
push the narrative. Yeah.
Yep.
He's there to push the narrative. And when I always notice that when it's not going their way and things are getting, more positive, he'll throw cover. I seen him say something about their rallies and saying, see Joe Biden here, see they didn't have anybody up top here. But look here. They had all kinds of people up here when Biden was here. Well, the fire marshal come in and something happened at one of Trump's rallies with the fire marshal, and they were having to do something. And I love Tin Man. Now, Tin Man will stitch the hell out of Harry's shit. He will stitch his stuff like crazy. Adam does that was on here the other night. He'll stitch Harry's videos and he'll go off on him. Say thanks.
Tin Man's pretty cool.
Hey, Smatter, are you on TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that your name on TikTok?
Across all social media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'll follow you there.
There's about 7. There's about 7 of them.
Okay.
Smatter Q 1.0, 2.A, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0 got axed, 6.0, and 7.0.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, and Luna Chew, the 10-pound Shih Tzu.
Yeah, his little Shih Tzu has her own show too.
That's
Can't leave
run
Luna
by-
out of
that-
there.
That's a Smatter Chew production, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Shannon, how are you? Welcome in. Welcome
Country,
in.
you have kept me,
I've kept you up.
you kept me up way past my bedtime.
Well, you can leave if you need to, babe.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
good.
That's why I'm letting you know.
I got one video left and then it's done. I was going to go till
All right.
almost 11. Do what?
I said, all right, I'll wait until after your video.
I got one last video I want to play.
You know what I got to do.
I know what you got to do. Yeah, one last video.
Has 85,000 kids they can't find. What in the world? It's the New York Times. It's not Fox News. And we're sitting here talking about a fiction of saying there's an infant rolling through somewhere outside of Eagle Pass right now, begging to claim asylum. The infant is not doing that. This is absurd. You know it's absurd. We have language here put forward in good faith, trying to figure out how to stop what I see in this chart behind me, where unaccompanied children are spiking through the roof, have been doing so since Democrats have been in charge of the administration. The only blip is when you had a Republican in charge. You had kids on top of train cars getting abused by cartels. You got numbers spiking through the roof since President Biden has been in office. And all I want to simply do is say, we want to get them home to their families. We want to get them to the place where they can go to a port of entry so we can take care of them. And we're being treated by my colleagues on the other side of the aisle with where are the 1,000 that aren't being reunified? Well, go find the 85,000 that we don't even know where the hell they are under the Biden administration.
Ooh. But that number has
I
jumped
love
to,
I love his energy.
yeah, that number has jumped to over 166,000 as of September of last year. So imagine what it is now.
You know what, Country? I think you know my platform, at least on TikTok, social media, whatever you want to call it. Being here in Arizona, you know, we you know, I've been here for 2.5 years, and generally my platform is actually focused on the border. I do some comedy videos and whatnot, but I'm telling you right now, people did not see this coming. And I understand Chip Roy's frustration. And we've been saying it all along. The border states, especially, and now every state's a border state, and I recognize that. But you know, it's not just Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and California anymore. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. People are being found, you know, unalived. We have all these, especially recently, all of these, you know, missing children, mothers, wives, you know, so on and so forth. And yeah, I mean, now there's all these children missing. It's so frustrating. It's so
It
frustrating.
is. It is. And nobody's doing nothing.
I mean, Smatter, are you a parent?
Yes, I got 2 daughters.
Okay, I got 2 sons. So we're all parents here. Nobody. Nobody wants that. I mean, and none of this would be happening if not for this border. I'll yield back or land my plane or whatever.
I mean, you're fine. It's disheartening that,
Nope,
you
I
know,
get it.
Bowman, you know, he said, what, 85,000 children? Well, he's not in office anymore. So maybe we'll get somebody in that seat that will look for these 85,000 children. Well, actually, it's doubled now. But that's just what they're saying they were recording. Think about the ones that are not being reported on and recorded.
Right.
So, with
Well,
that,
we don't.
guys,
We don't even know where they came from. We don't know what country they belong to. We don't know anything. You know.
Nope. You don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. That's sad.
Gravel, what's your ad on TikTok?
Gravel. Gravel
Okay.
2.0. It's Gravel 2.0.
Yeah.
All right. I'll check you out, man. I
Yeah.
got to go to bed.
Guys. Thank you, Smatter too. Thank you, Gravel. I really appreciate you guys being on here tonight. Thank you, everyone in the comments that stuck it out with us. Be back here tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, and really appreciate it. Make sure you follow, like, and share before you go out.
Hey, Country, real quick before you cut it off, just remember, my sons think you're a very pretty woman.
Gravel, you tell them I said thank you. Very polite.
My
They're not the only one.
They thought they thought you were very pretty. They were like, "Who's that pretty woman?"
They thought Dad was sitting there on some kind of chat line with somebody, didn't they? That's cute.
Have a great night.
Definitely qualifies
Great.
as a chat line.
Yeah, great show.
Yeah.
Great show.
Thank you. You guys make it. Okay. With that, you guys have a blessed night. We'll see you back here. I'll be here tomorrow.
Thanks, Country.
Night, everybody. Thank you, Miss Miss Deborah. Nice Smatter too. Have a good night, everyone. And as always, Country Crazy out.